And we're learning Photoshop in a year, day 258. Let us once again talk about the color replacement tool. You can find it right here via right click. B is the short key for this toolbox. We use the color mode. And now we talk about the limits. We have three options: discontiguous, contiguous, and find edges. Let's go over them. I make my foreground color pinkish, and my brush is big enough to cover basically two of these little squares in the Rubik's Cube. We'll set it to discontiguous, and you can see if I paint over this, it's going to cover every area that is actually covered by my brush. And press Ctrl Z, and now I use contiguous. And now if I paint, you can see it basically finds the edges, and it only covers, in our case, the yellow color that's sampled because I've clicked here first, where my brush actually is. And if it exceeds, for example, these black areas and blends then into the next yellow area, it doesn't cover that anymore, because the contiguous mode can detect edges, and that makes your life a little bit easier here and there, especially when you have geometric shapes like squares, triangles, where you don't want to paint over. So in simple terms, this contiguous just covers everything that is covered by your brush. And contiguous, it doesn't do that. Instead, it tries to find edges and then stay within whatever you've got selected. Basically where the center of your brush is. This is then preferred and colored. And if there's something on the outside of your brush, this is not getting covered. The last mode, let me open a new image for that, like an apple. It's called Find Edges. In this case, I have to rasterize it before. So I left click here and confirm. And now we can paint over it, for example, with the greenish color. This is just a discontiguous mode, and you can see it found some edges, but on the top left we have a problem. And if I try to cover the bottom, it will also recolor the shadow. So that's certainly not what we want. Press Ctrl Z. And this time I set it to find edges. And now it does a way better job on the edges at the top left. It's a little bit harder now to cover everything inside, because it tries to find edges here as well. And there are different color tones in this reddish apple. And at the bottom, I go over the area again, and it doesn't cover the shadow anymore. So these are way better results. Let me once again copy it and do it with a discontiguous mode, and then we can compare it. And here you can see, yet again on the inside, it's way easier to use discontiguous, because we know everything should be recolored for a greenish apple anyway. But on the edges, top left especially, and where the shadow is, this creates worse results. So general advice would be use discontiguous when you're on the inside of an element where everything needs to be recolored anyway. And when you go to the edges, switch to find edges limits, and this makes your life a little bit easier. Hope this video was helpful. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.